Hey, what's going on, guys? G1X here, and today I thought we'd take a look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mystic Raphael from the Nickelodeon cartoon series. Now, I'm going to start this video off just like I've done all the rest of them, so we can see side-by-side comparisons with the LARP Barbarian Raphael, or Viking Raphael, whatever he was, and the Battle Shell version. Now, if you're only looking for one Raphael to put in your Nickelodeon cartoon series collection, it should be this guy. He's the best and most represented throughout the entire series of what this guy actually looks like. He also comes with quite a few paint applications, as you can see at the feet, at the wrist, at the hands. This guy also comes with a ton of paint applications as well. This guy has the gimmick with the battle shell. This guy has a few extra accessories and obviously a different deco that we've seen with some of the vintage figures before. Now getting into the Mystic figure. This one is... It was a nice idea. I like the Michelangelo, the Leonardo, it's all right. But the Raphael is the worst out of the four. And this is one that I would probably pass on if you're just a Raphael collector and you just want him. This is probably the worst one that they've come out with thus far out of any turtle. Now, why I say that, a couple of QC issues which I will get into. But as far as weapons, he does come with 3. You can see that he comes with this little little shredder thing here that you would see him with, and he comes with his little gun, which I guess blows fire or blowtorch there. He's got his 2 gas canisters that are actually glued on there, and he's got this little spike thing which is very soft, so you don't have to worry about it being puncturing any skin or anything or giving it to a young child. They'll be fine. They're not going to hurt themselves. Now, some of the other things that wanted to mention, I'm going to go ahead and take this guy's head off because you can take this little scarf thing, take this off if you want. We're just going to leave them on there because it does look a little bit better. Make sure we get a little bit more color in there because it breaks it up. You can see that it's a completely different mold here in the arms, here at the wrist, down here in the thighs, the legs completely different, the head completely different, even the shell because they glued these on here. And there are little bit holes where I guess you could put size. I just don't know how they would fit in there because the gas canisters are in the way. Or even why you would put the hole in there because there's nothing that he comes with that can actually fit in that hole. But the main thing here, or let's say one of the things, as we've seen with, let's grab Mikey here. The rest of these turtles, and everyone that I think we've seen thus far, it has the little elbow pad, and then the joint is below it. And it kind of breaks that up nicely, so you got the the shoulder and the bicep, and then there's the elbow pad, and then here's the forearm and the hand. Well, with this guy, they have the shoulder, bicep, and then the elbow pad is actually below the elbow joint instead of being up here. So it's like, here's his elbow, and then there's his wrist. They're like right on top of each other. So it looks a little bit funny, especially whenever you're trying to pose them. I mean, you kind of see what I'm talking about there. It's just poorly executed. I don't know why they did it that way. Nothing in the wrist here. Well, his elbow is part of his wrist since they're right there on top of each other. But you really can't get a nice pose out of that. It looks just strange. As far as the legs, I have another big problem with. One, putting them side by side. Look, one is longer than the other. I don't know how well that's showing up on camera. One is longer than the other, so he wouldn't. That's how he would stand if you put the legs together like that. The other problem that I have is I think this is actually supposed to be on this foot. This foot's supposed to be over here. The feet are misassembled. If you look over here at Donnie, he's kind of the closest of the way that their leg or feet are designed. Now they're completely different, molds as well as far as the feet goes. But look here on Donnie, you have kind of the wide toe there, and then the narrow as far as where the wrap goes. And Donnie's fine, So we'll get into him on the next review or the next day. But with this guy, you see that you have the long on the outside and the narrow on the inside. Also, just look at the way that they look. That looks like that should be over there, and this should be over here, right? I'm not the only one seeing that. So, plus the fact that they're different lengths, which is just strange to me. Now, you can still, get them in a pose that it kind of, takes care of that. So it's not a huge issue, but right out the gate, you have that issue. You also have, the way that it's designed with the elbows. I just think they could have done a much better figure than what they did. But as far as articulation goes, I can move the head. It does go back and forth just a little bit. Probably if you remove this stuff, like I said, you could take that and his head will move more. One thing that is a paint issue, you can see that you've got this paint going around here, and it seems like they kind of messed up. So they were like, oh, touch up paint right there, touch up paint right there. So this, I just maybe have a really bad figure. I would double check yours. And, you know, the shoulders, then go in and out like that. Elbow, wrist, whatever you want to call this, can move all the way around, bend inwards. The legs in and out, rotate there, bend at the knee. They can also rotate there. And you can get that pose out of them. And, you know, depending on how you want to pose them, I guess that doesn't look too bad. That's about the best I can do with his QC issues and him being limited in a couple of different ways. But Playmates, you didn't do a good job on that one. So this is one that I would stay away from unless you just kind of want to collect the whole set. And there you go. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Peace.